How's it going, everybody? The Mark Weber here, giving you your NFL Week 17 power rankings. Now, you might notice I'm in a very disgusting jersey. Well, unfortunately, the Vikings have made their way, they've weaseled their way into the playoffs, and I have to wear this gross thing. Although I don't look bad in purple. But can anyone really look good in a Vikings jersey? Unfortunately not. But let's talk about NFL power rankings. So somehow this still keeps happening. Dallas Cowboys managed to be dead last on this power ranking. It is what it is at this point. I can't fight it. I can't. But moving ahead, though, we got the Titans coming in next at 31. I personally think the Browns are a little bit worse, but they just managed to edge out the Titans coming in at 30. Then we got the 49ers and the Chargers. All these teams are just bad teams. Nothing is going well. You know, they're not teams that you're happy about. If you're in this fan base, you're probably not happy about any of these teams. They are all teams that have a lot that they need to fix and address in the offseason. Now, with that being said, moving up to our next little chunk here, we got the Dolphins, we got the Ravens, the Jaguars, and the Buccaneers. Once again, these are teams that are not performing that well, but at least a little bit better. The one thing I will say about the Buccaneers, after that loss to the Chicago Bears, man, they dropped. They dropped pretty far, actually. They were up at 22 in our last week. Now they're all the way down to 24. I know it's not a huge chunk, but there's a lot of ties in there that makes it a little bit worse. Moving ahead, we have the Eagles and the Giants are tied. We also had the Saints and the Colts that are tied. So I don't necessarily know about the Colts. I feel like they're a little bit high here just because of all their quarterback woes that they've had. I mean, these guys have signed Josh Freeman. If anybody should be at the very bottom that isn't the Browns, it should be the Colts because that's just a joke. Josh Freeman, Vikings, you guys remember. You remember Josh Freeman. He quarterbacked your team for I think it was 2 or 3 quarters, and then he was done. And it was horrible. Now, moving ahead, a team that is much lower than they should be. We have the Chicago Bears. They beat the Buccaneers. They were at 25. They've moved their way up to 19 because the Buccaneers, a win over Lovie Smith is definitely a good win. Chicago Bears fans feel great about that. We had the Lions somehow squeaking their way above the Chicago Bears. I don't know what that's about. The Buffalo Bills, the Rams, and the Raiders. Raiders are one of those teams which I actually think should be a little bit higher on this list. But what can you do? Because at the next level, this is where we get to the actual playoff teams. So we have the Falcons, we've got the Texans, we've got the Redskins, and then the Packers. Like I said, we're getting to those playoff teams now. The Packers feel a little low on here to me, especially when the Vikings, who they're tied with in record, are much higher than they are. I don't understand what that's about, but I don't like either of these teams, so what are you going to do? Now we have the Steelers, we got the Seahawks, we got the Bengals, the Vikings, and then the Jets. Jets are definitely a good team, playing hard, trying to get into the playoffs. They can't lose this game here. We have teams like the Bengals. They're pretty low. We have them falling off, especially with A.J. McCarron's supposed sprained wrist that he apparently has. But these are all teams that are definitely good, but not the teams that are going to probably be competing for that Super Bowl. That's in this next group. When we got the Broncos, we got the Chiefs, the Patriots. This I don't agree, all right? I'm clawing up nice and hard, everybody. But the Panthers and then the Cardinals. I like the Cardinals too, but they are no Cam Newton MVP-led claw up Panthers. But you know what? One of these teams, Cardinals, Panthers, are probably going to win the Super Bowl. And you can check out Most Valuable podcast, The Onside Kick, to see who we think is the better team between the Panthers and the Cardinals. You can check that out down below. There will be links. Don't forget to check out our survey on surveymonkey.com to tell us what you want to see from Most Valuable Podcasts in 2016. Hit the like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and comment down below with what you think the power ranking should be. Do you think one team is way too high, way too low? Let us know down below. I can't help but rhyme right now, guys. But until next time, we got one more power ranking left for the actual season before we get into the playoffs. When we're going to be talking playoffs, baby. Yeah, we are. All over the world.